Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
Families, children, and youth. We've been around since 1997. I was not the coordinator then. I actually started off doing wraparound services with families in Walton County. And for Walton County, what that means is if there was a family in need of services, it was my job to bring everybody to the table and whatever services were needed, make sure they had the resources around the table. And during those times, I always made sure the family was present. I can always remember going to meetings and even I would feel intimidated, but I couldn't imagine how the parent would feel if they didn't have an advocate sitting right there with them. So that was in the beginning. So fast forward many years later, I've been in this job for about 22 years now, and the budget shrinks more and more each year. So thankfully, with the partnership, and our state initiative is Georgia Family Connection Partnership. And it's through the governor's office, and they give money to each county in Georgia, and all counties in Georgia have a family connection. But the reason we are the Partnership for Families, Children, and Youth is each county can be labeled or titled or have their own name. We just have to follow their, use their logos and that sort of thing. So how we decide what we do in each county is based on the needs of the county. And in your packet, I'll just review the packet because I really want Tish to talk because we have a lot of things going on in the partnership, and a lot of it is confusing because we're not an agency, we're not an organization. We are a process. Each year we change, and we change according to the needs of the county. So in your packet, the first thing you'll see, and this is from our state, and this just tells you as a whole what we do. This is your county brochure, and yes, these are homemade. That's one way we try to save. We would rather for our monies to go to our families and helping those in need rather than printing. So if you're in the printing business, I apologize. And then this is what I can let you all look at first. These are the different categories that we work, we have indicators for, and for Walton County, safe, stable, self-sufficient and productive families, thriving communities, healthy children, children primed for school, and children succeeding in school. And I just printed this out for you all because this is what we have access to. Some of our funders with the state office, they allow family connection to happen. I mean, they're huge funders, and they are really fundamental in giving them money to disperse out to each county. So they also collect data. Now, some of this data is outdated. Some of it, you may see a dash, that means that data was not available. Each year I have to do an annual plan. And in that annual plan, according to the indicators that we choose to work on each year, we have to provide data from our county. So part of this document is data that we are given the state, and part of it is what they collect from other partners. But through the partnership, we work with a number of different partners. We do so many different events. So you may see us all over the place. That is how we communicate, how we collaborate, and Johnny can tell you that you can't run a business by yourself. It takes collaboration because, especially nowadays with COVID everywhere, we're doing a lot of Zoom meetings. So we have partnership meetings. They're offered in person now and by Zoom. And what I was using Johnny as an example, he is the chair of our empty stocking committee here in Walton County, but he can't do it alone. He has to have a number of different folks to help him. So that's how we are. That's why we have collaborative meetings, and that's why we invite people to the table to share resources and to let us know what's going on. And, we try to bridge gaps in services and make sure there are no duplications. Because we have a lot of folks that move into Walton County that really want to stop or really want to start an organization to fix this. But it's like, have you talked to this person and this person and this person? Because they already have that going on. So that's kind of our job with information and referral. But we do have an online resource directory now, and I would love for everybody at this table to go back to your office and check the website out and send me a request to put your information in the directory, because it's for our families, whether it's a family in need or a family that just needs a resource to share at your church. So I encourage you to do that. And then lastly for me is our contact information. I have my contact information on here. Our coworker Rick Baker, he does family counseling for those who are uninsured or have no transportation. And those services are free of charge. And we do a lot of drug and alcohol education in the schools and in the homes. So one of the biggest and best parts that I always brag on with the partnership is our youth development component of the partnership. And I invited Tish to come along with me because she is the director of that program. So I will turn it over to Tish.
Thank you. Thanks, y'all. So I always say Dina does all of this and I do this one little thing, which is pretty accurate. She keeps all the balls in the air for us and does the data and the research and the collaborative meetings, and I just work with the kids. So I'm the Walton Youth Project's Teen Advocacy Board Director, and what we do is try to give kids an environment to be like what you all are now, to be civically minded, grassroots approach, affecting change in their community, assessing need, and then putting something on the ground that'll work. And that's what we've been doing. I won't read through our whole one sheet, but we've been around for 11 years. I haven't been here again that long, but we recruit teens from high schools, private school, public school, homeschool kids. Now almost everybody's homeschooled, but to serve on our board. And then we go out into the community. So part of what I like to do at these things is tell you what we do, but also get ideas for what we can do. So we go into the community, figure out where there's a need, and then address it. Last year we did a binge drinking campaign because talking to kids, it really came about from talking to law enforcement. We were practicing for our legislative update at the Capitol, and Monroe PD was kind enough to let us present for their cops, which we thought was a pretty good warm-up to presenting for politicians. And we asked them what an issue was, and they told us they're picking up kids at parties on weekends in a lot of trouble from alcohol. So that inspired the kids to come up with a campaign to go into schools at lunchtime and give them free sweet tea, which we didn't realize how popular that would be at school at lunchtime, and then talk to them about, even if they are going to drink underage, to pace themselves and to be smart and to watch out for their friends who might not know what's going on. And so that was our first big thing last year with our board. Then that sort of developed. We went into middle schools as a mentoring thing with 21st Century, the after school program, and teachers and parents were telling us one of the main things that's affecting their kids' grades is TikTok, Facebook, YouTube. Their kids are doing this all the time and not this, right? So we started coming up with a plan to have a screen-free event in downtown Monroe. We had about, 60 sponsors signed up. It was planned for April. We had posters everywhere. DDA was behind us, and then COVID hit. So we could not have hundreds of people down at the historic courthouse for a big fun event where everyone was, the hospital was gonna give us these little check-in things for their phones, so no one could have a phone there, and we were just gonna do 3-4 hours of like family fun without phones. Well, that didn't happen, but then COVID did happen. So as a result, we started sewing masks. Where's my mask? The kids sewed over 1,000 pieces of PPE. We had parents who were also doing it and grandparents. We bought a 3D printer through a grant that we received from the Walton County Healthcare Foundation, and we started printing the shields. And so that was a great, we stayed busier during COVID. When you were saying, what do y'all do since the pandemic hit? We found that the kids got busier as a result of being at home, right? So they could put together 3D printed masks. We delivered signs. You've probably seen our signs in downtown Monroe. We did a lot of that spacing out, put the little decals on the floors of businesses to say 6 feet, and we put signs up saying, please wear a mask. We studied, the governor's directive intensely and told businesses, went in and said, this is what you really need to do, this is what he's not asking you to do, that kind of thing, helping people navigate that, and anywhere from hair salons to restaurants to whatever, helping them space out tables and all that. So that was the next thing we did. Then we moved on from that, since we had this fancy 3D printer, into a middle school outreach, which takes us back to the after-school program, where we started 3D printing Mandalorian helmets from the Star Wars series and teaching the kids how to finish them and sand them and assemble them. And it actually is PPE. If you want to have a big, huge helmet, that's PPE. So we started doing that, again, through a collaboration from the collaborative meeting with the after-school program. And that's what we're doing now, is we're working, we have teenagers, our teen board are mentoring middle schoolers, helping them, both the ones who are homeschooling right now and the ones who are in person. We're at Youth Middle and Carver Middle, helping kids with homework, helping them with the Mandalorian masks. We're helping with their spring show, which is a kind of a Broadway review. We're seeing kids in their homes for Dungeons and Dragons and League of Legends, and they're doing a lot of, the kids who are sitting there doing school all day and by themselves. We're meeting up with a group of them in the afternoon on Zoom to do something fun. And that's really, we've just stumbled onto that again through collaborative meetings, talking to people and seeing what we need. Our most recent thing, though, that we're trying to get off the ground came out of a meeting. We're trying to create these hug tents. Have y'all seen those for nursing homes where people stuff their arms in them and they can hug their loved ones who are on the other side of the curtain? And so I have a friend at the CDC who helped us design it so that it would be safe. And we've requested all of the supplies, and that's what the kids are working on now, is trying to get those. So we would go in a doorway like this, and someone would stand on one side and one on the other, and they put their arms in the big thing, and it's a sterile plastic hug. But we did have someone who works for the city tell us that it was hard for him to go into the nursing home and visit his mom because she just stood at the door and cried because she couldn't get her hands on it. And so we happened to have a meeting that night, and I was talking to the kids, and then I texted Dina really late, and I was like, oh my gosh, this idea they have! And there's tons of that online. We just started, put a list together and got some funding for it, trying to get that going. And so that's what we do.
Our issue for that, though, is we do not have enough funding for that.
Right, yeah.
Tish's organization is a nonprofit. The partnership is the umbrella for her organization, so she is able to receive donations, write grants, and that sort of thing. So, yes, so she's written grants for the after school, and maybe a little bit of the money we can use for the tents. But I think once we put that out there, that will really be a huge thing, and especially coming from the kids and their idea. And I'm sure there's probably 5 in this room that have a loved one or a family member that has a loved one that is in a nursing home that they would love to see. So I can't imagine that would not be a successful program.
So we're always looking for both, capital and ideas, both. We also have another little initiative that the kids are doing that they started at Youth Middle, teaching the middle schoolers graphic design. And they created campaign posters. This was when the whole campaign was going on, and before we knew that it was going to kind of blow up and become kind of contentious on both sides. We thought it would be a simple thought to make positive campaign signs, not with any candidate's name, but with things like, you can do it, we'll make it through the year, just really positive stuff printed on a campaign sign for people to put in their yards. We realized that it was harder than we thought to keep that very politically neutral. And when you're even with middle schoolers, it was tough. And almost Dina and I were looking at it and like, oh, well, this will be okay. Well, this will be okay. But the idea was to sell those for like $20.21 so someone could have a neutral sign in their front yard that was created by a middle schooler and a high schooler, just to say, hey, we're all in it together. This is the weirdest year ever. And we're all trying to stay positive. So that's the thing we're looking at doing to raise a little bit of money to fund the other stuff. We're just trying to get that, like I said, work it out so that we're not gonna hopefully step on any toes or have any, any issues with that. So that's pretty much it for me. Again, we're always looking for ideas. I try to listen to what you guys need, to what you think might help kids. And again, the main thing being, we really want our teens, when they're our age, to be sitting in rooms like this trying to figure out how to be civically minded and benefit their community. So that's all we're doing.
All right.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
Thank you. Yes.
I have a question. So Dina, like in a regular day of yours, how does somebody's name come across your desk? Do you get the people that need your help from principals? Do they call themselves?
Either. We have a lot of folks that think we're defects. My kids for many years thought I was defects and I took children away because, it's so hard to understand because of us being a process and not an agency or organization. But yes, we get calls needing anger management classes, rent paid. I had a young man call me yesterday and he needed housing. He had gotten in touch with Fish, he'd gotten in touch with a couple of other organizations. And that's one reason that I'm really pushing that online resource directory, because I asked him, I said, do you have access to the internet? And he said, oh yeah, I'm right here on my computer. So I pointed him in the direction of the resource directory and he was looking at everything on there. So yeah, we can get a call from the school. We get a lot of referrals from the schools. From juvenile court, that sort of thing, and even other counselors will send Rick, my coworker, referrals if that particular family doesn't fit into what they can do for that family. So if we ever have questions that come across our desk in any given day, I never just say we can't help you. There's always a way that you can help someone if it's just listening. And sometimes that's what people need, especially today in this world where some of them are stuck at home. So I try to find them another resource. So did that answer your question?
Okay. Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.
Hello everyone, my name is Cassandra Hainsworth and I am the 4-H agent here in Walton County. We have quite a few 4-H activities that are going on this year despite all the COVID challenges that we're having to face. We have our shooting sports program that is kicking off. We have 3 disciplines that your students can get involved in. Our 4-H BB team is open to 4th through 9th graders. They are currently full at this moment. However, if you would like to be added to the waiting list, please just give us a call at the office and we can get you all the details you need to get your child on that waiting list and any other additional information you might need about the team. Our 4-H air rifle team meets each week and they are open to 7th through 12th graders. So if you have a student that is interested in being a part of our 4-H air rifle team, we'd love to have you come and be a part of that program. We also have a 4-H shotgun team that is also open to 7th through 12th graders. So you can also contact our office for more information about getting your child involved in that program as well. Our 4-H poultry judging team is going to be kicking off in just a few days. We will have an orientation meeting on Sunday, February 7th from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. right here at the 4-H office. So if you have a child in 5th through 12th grade who's interested in chickens, eggs, and learning more about poultry, then be sure to come out on Sunday, February 7th at 3 o'clock to get more information about our poultry judging team. We also have a 4-H homeschool program, and our homeschoolers will be meeting on Tuesday, February 9th at the Walton County Ag Center. Our K through 3rd graders meet from 10 to 11 o'clock a.m. and then our 4th through 6th graders meet from 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. So if you would like more information about that, you can also contact our office to get more details, or you can just come out to our Walton County 4-H Ag Center and get more information there. Our teens will also be meeting on February 9th. That is 7th through 12th graders. So if you have students that are in those grades who want to get more involved in 4-H, learn more about our program, and meet some new friends, we'd love to have them come out to our 4-H office. And that meeting is going to be from 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. So as you can see, we have a lot of things that are going on right now, and we'd love to have your child be a part of our program. Our office is located at 100 North Broad Street, right here in Monroe, Georgia. You can also give us a call at 770-267-1324. We look forward to having you give us a call or come by and visit and getting your child involved in our 4-H program, where they will be on track to be part of so many wonderful adventures. Adventures await.
Hi, this is Jody Johnson, and I'm here with another recreation report. Happy to say our spring sports registration is now complete, and we actually have more participants than last year, which is very surprisingly, being we've gone through COVID now for nearly 12 months, and our sports programs are doing very well, and that is from the parents that come and trust the methods that we put in place. So we have over 1,600 kids that are participating in our sports programs this spring. So we're in the process now of putting them on teams and ordering uniforms, doing schedules, all the planning stuff. So we'll start practicing around March 1st with our opening day slated for March 28th. So looking forward to that. Our basketball season has ended, and now we're on to All-Stars. On Thursday night, on February 4th, we will have our All-Star game amongst the areas, Monroe, Loganville, Social Circle. They come together with smaller sided All-Star teams. They play a small tournament amongst each other, and then from there we will consolidate to form one team that will go to the GRPA, the Georgia Recreation Parks Association, district and state tournament. So that will be going on towards the end of February, the 1st of March. So looking forward to our all-star teams going and representing Walton County. Our projects that we have going on here at the Recreation Department, our splash park is still under some construction. We're kind of at a standstill right now because of the weather. We're having to do some paving, so we're going to have to wait until March to get that paved. And then we should have just about everything completed out there. We are installing some pickleball courts that are being bid out now, so those also will be done probably sometime in April or May. We're looking at a grand opening of the new splash park in between around May 1st on those weekends, and then when school lets out, we'll have a regular set of hours that will be open during the day and on weekends, and really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great place for families to take their kids and let them run around and get wet and play in on the zero ground level splash parks. Basically, water dumps out of buckets and shoots out of cannons and that sort of thing. So it's a real fun place to go. If you want to ride by, you're welcome to, and you can kind of see it. It's all fenced in, so you can't get in there right now, but around May 1st you'll be able to visit the splash park, dog park, nature walking areas, frisbee golf courses, that sort of thing. All of that will be right there in between. It's right across the street from the fire department and the Department of Motor Vehicles. the DMV there on Heritage Drive in between. So it's right off Highway 78. It's conveniently located right in between Monroe and Loganville. So it's a great place for us to have a park. Our community center and social circle is under construction as well. It's going right on schedule. So they're doing a great job down there, doing a lot of the preliminary footings and plumbing, and all of that's going in now. We look for it to be complete sometime in June. So if everything stays on schedule, which it should. So a lot of things going on here. I do want to recommend, if you're wanting to utilize one of our pavilions throughout the county, make sure you go online and call our representative there at the community centers to reserve those. It's a $30 fee just to reserve the pavilions, but they do book up fast for the spring and summer. So it's a good time if you're planning a birthday party or a reunion or just a small little get together. It's a good place to do that outside of one of our parks. Usually a standard, one of the standard neighborhood parks has a pavilion, playground. If you're wanting bathrooms, you probably have to get a porta potty or something like that. The only bathroom we have at our outside parks, those neighborhood parks, is the one in Good Hope. But the others, if you're going to have an event like that and you want a restroom facility, you can go there. So we have a lot going on. Go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov and you can see all of the programs that we have. I always want to push you to visit our community center. It's a great place to exercise and work out in a controlled environment, very clean environment, and to get out of the elements. You know, we're still in winter right now. Still really not, only a few days that it's really nice enough to get outside and exercise. So it's a good place to go and do that. So again, go to our website at waltoncountyga.gov and you can see all the programs and the facilities and the parks near you. So look forward to our spring seasons kicking off, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Remember, sportsmanship starts at home. Thank you.
Monroe Country Day School's mission is to inspire every student to have a passion for academic and personal excellence through creative learning, independent thinking, and selfless service to others. Students are exposed to the local community and provided opportunities for independent thinking.
What will you do with all the dirt?
Some of the dirt you see has been hauled over here because they're going to have to build the finished floor, the elevation of the building, so that it's got to have the right kind of soil that will compact and tighten up for the footings of the building.
Monroe Country Day School values the whole child. Therefore, we believe in a holistic and integrated approach that involves the development of the student academically, personally, and socially. Monroe Country Day School believes that creative learning produces independent thinking and fosters a love of learning. Excellence is applied to all that we do. We strive to foster students that are pursuing strong academic and personal excellence. Project-based education is integrated into our curriculum.
When we go back in the classroom, we need the combined weight of you guys, because we've got to figure our bridge, our mass bridge weight ratio, okay? You got to figure out how much weight it was that finally broke your bridge, okay?
We need a scale for that.
And then on Monday, we're going to redesign. We figured out where some of our flaws are. We're going to spend another week redesigning, all right?
Monroe Country Day School offers personalized education that begins with the personal knowledge of each student academically and each student's personal story. We believe that taking personal responsibilities for one's academic and personal choices produces strong, independent, capable, and confident citizens. Students are taught responsibility for self, peers, and community. Through service to one's peers and community, an equipped leader finds personal growth and fulfillment. We facilitate this leadership through providing experiences of service. Respect is the basis for good dialogue, independent thinking, and mutual enjoyment of life lived in community. Monroe Country Day School is designed for families who see the value of educating the whole child. Monroe Country Day School will reach its mission by maintaining small class sizes, offering project-based learning and a high-level curriculum, and by providing service opportunities in an aesthetically pleasing environment. Monroe Country Day School has positioned itself to produce a community of young people who are strong in mind and character and living as contributing members in their community. For more information, please contact Mandy Wellington, Admissions Director, at 770-267-8955.
Hi, welcome to Monroe Walton Center for the Arts. A couple of new things to let you know about. One is the Gnome Hunt that's here in downtown Monroe. We're doing this in February only right now. We may do another hunt for something later down the road, but for this month we're doing the little gnome hunt, and what you will be looking for are little eggs that look like this. They've got a ticket inside of them with a number, and what we ask people to do is to turn this whole thing into us. You don't have to open it up or anything. Just turn the whole egg into us. It's got a number on it, and the number will correspond, this one's number 27, it will correspond to a little pottery gnome. So you'll come here and you'll trade in your egg with a ticket inside of it for the little gnome that has the same number on it. So it's just our little gift to our awesome community, something fun to do as we're headed into spring. We've had one gnome drop already, and we will announce them on Facebook. We're going to kind of pay attention to weather and hide them when it's not raining. Of course, it's going to be cold, but we're going to try to hide them when it's not raining for the next day. We tend to hide them at night when it's going to be a nice day. So we'll announce on Facebook the gnomes are out, and what that means is that the little eggs are out, and for you to hunt for them. We do appreciate you turning them in as quick as you can. I know we have limited hours when we're open, but let us know by turning them in that they've been found, so that we can let the community know, because people are going a little bit crazy over this idea and are spending hours looking for the eggs, and if there aren't any out to be found, I want to let people know. So we're doing about 10 a week each week, and the drop days will be kind of a surprise. Like I said, we're looking at weather. We want to do it when it's not raining and when it's at least maybe not freezing cold. But it's a really fun family project. The eggs will be, some are hidden kind of hard, some are pretty easy to find. But down in the business district downtown, as far as we might go as far as John's Supermarket, I'm not sure about that, down to Scoops and toward the library, maybe even Childers Park. But they will be hidden, and so we'll do a total of about 40 over the course of the month. And it's just a fun way to get some exercise, get outside, go to Scoops, get some ice cream, visit here, visit your favorite shops, and get out and enjoy a nice little time looking for these little eggs. So that's kind of a new thing that we'll be doing. Hopefully we'll do it at least a couple of times a year with different projects. The gnomes are handmade. They're Pottery Gnomes made by Rebecca Braswell mostly, and a couple of her students also have made some. And if you don't have any luck finding them, we do have a few gnomes here available for sale, and they're $12. So, and we do ask that each household only find one, because we only have 10 a week. So if one family, of course, went out and found 3 or 4 of them, that's not really fair to everybody else. So we do ask that you have fun hunting them, find as many as you want, but please only pick up and bring in 1 per household. We just won't even honor more than 1 per household. We'll take it and hide it again if more than 1 is turned in. So have fun, and like I said, that's our gift to our beautiful city and a fun thing to do. A couple of other things is we have a Saturday soiree coming up on February 20th. Right now we've got a couple of drop-in workshops. One is wood turning, the other one is pottery. And our soirees, you just come. You don't have to pre-register. You just come and have fun. Look around, take a class, take 2 classes if you want. We may have more available, but right now we just have pottery and wood turning available. We have Sip and Paint on February 19th. That's Friday night. That's with Donna Kaufman. Those tend to fill up pretty fast. So if you're interested, you need to get in touch with us real quick. To register for Sip and Paints, you email Donna Kaufman, and you email her at Donna at monroeartguild.org. That's her email address. So if you're interested, email her. She'll send you the information about how to register. So that's February 19th. On February 20th, we do have the soiree. We also have an extra paint and pizza party. Our paint and pizza parties are usually on the first Saturday of the month. The February event sold out before we even advertised it to the public. The existing students snapped up the spots. So we are opening a second paint and pizza party. It's the same painting as the one for earlier in the month, and that will be on February 20th, and it's $25, includes paint, pizza, all the supplies that you need, drinks and everything, and that's for kids ages 6 and up. So that's an additional event this month. We have our usual things going on. We have guitar lessons with Zach Kaufman. He's the young man that works here part-time. A lot of you know him and love him, and he teaches ages 9 and up. And he's got both kid students and he's got some senior citizen students, so a huge age range, and he's a great teacher. It's beginner guitar on Monday afternoons. He's also launching open mic nights. So we're starting kind of a whole new music emphasis with Zach kind of being the brainchild, birthing all these different ideas for us to do with music here. So come, visit us, have fun looking for the eggs, come see us, visit us on the web at monroewaltonarts.org, come see us here at the center, and hope to see you soon. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Kenny Sargent with Keep Walton Beautiful from the Walton County Recycling Center. I want to thank everyone for tuning in. On the last video I did, I kind of gave you a little update about how we were going to try to progress forward with a tire amnesty in the spring. And some of the beginning stages of that got approved, and we sent off an application to the state to be approved for a week-long tire amnesty. So we are right in the middle of that, and we're hoping that comes to fruition. And our goal is to run it the week of Earth Day. So that is what we're shooting for. That is not a done deal yet, but I did want to keep you updated to let you know we are trying to get that in motion so we can have a tire amnesty. We've had a lot of calls. And it's a really good thing. It's a good time to give people an opportunity to get rid of some of the old tires they get stuck with sometimes. You know, we also think it helps keep some of the tires from making their way onto the sides of the roads and things like that. So it's all around a really good program that the state has going, and we're going to make sure we stay a part of it for as long as possible. Along with that, we are exploring some other ideas for some other events to do around Earth Day. So there's a few different things we're thinking about, and I'll keep you posted. Did just want to let you know we're working on the tire amnesty. We'll have another event with it, and we're going to try to have some stuff going on around Earth Day, especially after last year when COVID was just getting off the ground. We really didn't know much about the virus, and everything was pretty much shut down, so we really didn't do much of anything around Earth Day last year, and we do not plan on letting that happen to us again this year. We'll make sure we have an event where we can safely stay social distanced, and we'll have those events go on as safely as possible, but we will be doing something. One of the other things we've noticed a little bit is in our recycling drive-through with our computer recycling, we've been still pulling quite a few TVs and CRT monitors out of those boxes, and a few still get slipped in and get down into the bottoms to where we can't really see them or get to them. And when that happens, we get charged for those for those items that are in the boxes. And going forward, when things get to be too costly for us to do, we have to start looking at, possibly, ending those programs. And we don't want to quit our computer recycling because it's a big part of what we do. We get good participation with it, but we can't let that begin to be a real costly program for us. So just know that TVs and CRT monitors, and your CRT monitors are the old school big computer monitors, not the flat screen monitors, but the bigger old school monitors are what are CRT monitors. And those and televisions cannot go in those boxes. They can be brought here and disposed of, but they're not recyclable. And the cost of disposal for them is the same as it is anything else you dispose of here. It's $2.25 per 100 pounds or $45 a ton. So just wanted to make you aware we've got to keep those items out of our computer recycling, and it's kind of hard to do when those things get slipped in. We do the best we can to pull those things out when we see them, but we are really trying to spread the word as much as possible to keep those items out of the computer recycling boxes. Like I always do, feel free to give us a call. Come out and see us. Let us show you what we do here. Let us get you started recycling. Let us help you find new things to recycle. If you have any environmental or litter or any questions on any of that, water conservation, please give us a call. Our number down here is 770-267-1421. Be more than happy to answer any questions you have. And until next time, take care.
Hey, I'm Dina Huff. I am the director at the partnership, and I just want to give you an example of the past couple of months for myself and my family. I did have COVID back, it was before Christmas, and I know every case is different, and I'm hearing that from everyone that I come in contact with. Just to give you a little background, in March, when the schools shut down, Rick Baker and myself were a big part of feeding the children of Walton County through the meals. So we were making the sandwiches, we were delivering the sandwiches, so we were out in the community, and most places were shut down, but our jobs did not stop. We were constantly providing for our families, making sure everyone had the resources they needed. So I thought, well, I haven't gotten COVID yet. Maybe I'm immune, maybe I won't get it. So, fast forward to December, right before Christmas, when everybody wants to gather in crowds and visit with family. I woke up one morning with a really bad headache. Did not have a fever. just had a headache and just felt really, really bad. I kind of just I have migraine headaches on a regular basis that I take medication for, but this was unlike the migraine headaches that I suffer from. So I kind of laid around, didn't really get out of bed that whole day. So for me, my symptoms were not as bad as some of the other folks that I have spoken with, and certainly not as bad as some family members who have been hospitalized. So I did end up going to the emergency room on the second day because I was tested once with the rapid test and it was positive. So my symptoms got even worse the next day. So I had to, my husband took me to the ER and I was treated with steroids and sent home and, was told, like everyone else, watch your symptoms. If they get worse, you need to call your physician. But luckily, my case was not as bad as some of the others, and I did take every precaution necessary. If I go out in public, I will wear my mask. If I go to Walmart, if I go to Home Depot, that is a personal choice. You are asked, and that is for your safety and for others. We're not here to tell you to wear a mask, but for me and my family, I choose to do that. I would also like to say that I am the grandmother of 2 new babies, and I want to protect them as well. So my coworker, Rick Baker, wasn't as lucky as I was. He was in the hospital with his COVID episode. He is much better now, but just so you know, it can reach everyone. No one is, I'm no physician, but I don't think anyone is just immune to the virus completely. So just take precautions, safety measures, anything that you can. Wash your hands constantly. My hands stay dry because everywhere I go and everything I do, I wash my hands. So that's just a little tidbit from me here at the partnership, and just again praying for everyone, and I do hope you all stay safe. Thank you.
Did your family get it when you got it?
Yes, they did. My son lives with me, so he was the first one to show symptoms, and my pregnant daughter-in-law. She was pregnant at the time, which was my fear, that she would actually start showing symptoms, and she did. She never had to go to her doctor. Of course, they want them to stay away if they do have COVID, unless it's, they have a need to go to the hospital. So really, everybody in my family ended up having it, as well as my parents. And they're older, and that was, a really big concern of mine. So.
Was anybody affected much? Did they have taste, smell loss, anything like that?
Yes, and I forgot to include that because that for me did not come until later. And that took me forever to regain my taste and my smell. So that was another symptom that I forgot to share. But the headache was my main problem with it, and just fatigue, and I've heard other folks say that as well. So those were the things, and similar to others in my family as well.
Did anyone run fevers?
My mom did run a fever. No one else that I can think of ran a fever. I think my daughter-in-law did run a slight fever, but it was never anything really, really high.
Did everybody pretty well lose their taste and smell?
It was only a couple of us. Not everybody experienced that. So, you hear someone talk about it, and they talk about 10 things that they experience, and then you hear somebody talk about it like it was just, I just felt terrible a couple of days. So It is. I mean, it's crazy, and it's different for everyone. So that's the.
But everybody's okay now, even your older parents?
Yes. Thank goodness everybody is okay, and they do take precautions. I try to remind my parents each day, if you go out, if you have to go out, I can go out for you, but if you have to go out, please, take precautions when you go out.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome to Focus. This segment is an opportunity for us to focus on what matters with people, places, and things. I'm your photographer, Daryl Everidge.
Families used to come out and they would take care of graves and they would picnic. After church you'd come out and you'd eat after church and you'd clean the graves and you'd put flowers out, and it was just a traditional thing, and you'd talk about your loved ones that were long gone and you'd tell stories. It was just a tradition, and it's kind of fallen by the wayside. I think people move off. Children move away, they move to other places, and the graves just fall into disrepair, and people forget where their family members are buried. I decided I was going to show my friend Bill Owens a grist mill that I was interested in, and we drove out to see the grist mill, and on the way back, he said, I think you would like to see this cemetery. And so he showed me a cemetery that was right across the street from where I lived, and I could not believe I had lived there for that long and I had never seen it. I was shocked and appalled. And so I saw it, and we looked at it for a few minutes, and I went home and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So a few minutes later, I decided to amble back over, and I walked all the way through it, and I started taking pictures, and then I called him back up and I said, oh, well, look at this, look what I found. And I got so excited about it, and then I said, well, we have to do something. And so then from then on, it was kind of game on. So then I guess it was every other weekend, we were in there cleaning and pulling briars and just working away. Just clearing vines and cleaning gravestones, chopping down trees. And it's just been a discovery of gravestones and plants, and it's been fun. But meeting people, it's been different people coming out every other weekend. And sometimes it's a good group of people. Sometimes it's no people. It might be a lonely weekend out there. But sometimes it's a bunch of people. It just depends. But you can't give up. You just got to keep at it. I would like to see the cemetery in the name of the city of Monroe, and that's something I really would like to work toward. And I don't want it to be an added expense for the city. I don't think it would be. I just think that it needs to have a it needs to have a place, so that it just never happens again. A caretaker, if you will. So if a tree does fall, that something will be done about it, or if the vines start to grow crazy. And I'd like to keep our stewardship group going, where we come out. Right now we're coming out twice a month. I think once everything is as it should be, we can cut back to maybe one time a month just to cut vines, spray a little Roundup if needed, those types of things. But I would like to see it, in the name of a certified entity like the city of Monroe. And I think that it was good that they were placed here to identify it as a cemetery. I think that was a blessing. And as we move forward, I really want to repair all the broken markers, find where all the graves, the probability of all the graves are, and, place some type of, small marker on all the graves, something that's not going to rot.
I've known about the cemetery for years. I did not know the history of it. I knew it was an African American cemetery, and I knew that it was abandoned, so to speak. And I told her about it, and she had looked at it, and I think about a week or so later, we went back over there and we tromped through all the weeds and through everything, and slowly started gathering history on it and figuring out what it was and who was there and what it was all about. And I'd heard so many myths and half-truths, and you know, you just get this you know, local folklore type thing going on within the community, and it was like, well, let's dig into this. And so it was absolutely fascinating. You know, from there, you know, we ended up going to the county courthouse and going through the archive records and seeing how this all came about. And there was a lot of things that people thought or believed that just weren't true. And it's just a wonderful story of how this church came about and how it was founded and how the cemetery came about, and how they moved, and then it was just kind of forgotten for a while. And so it was really nice to uncover this piece of Monroe history that we could just share with everybody. And I've absolutely enjoyed the entire journey.
This past week's been really great because we could finally see the buildings, you know, finally look over that whole vast expanse, and you can see all the way to the other side. And before, you would look and it would just be a jumbled mass of plants and you couldn't see anything. And now you can see to the other side, you know, you can see the light. I feel like preservation is of value because it unites all people. And this preserves cultural heritage, and I think that that's important. This cultural heritage is important not just for the African American community. I think it's important for blacks, whites, you know, people of all color. I think it's important not just to remember the past, but it's important for people of today, but it's important to people for the future too. We've got to think about, you know, not just ourselves, but for the people of the future. We've got to preserve this for ongoing generations, you know? I think so.
You know, the original thought that's just evolved from the very beginning was, you know, hey, let's just clean this up so people can see it, so someone else can come in here and see what's going on. And from there, you know, that journey has just taken us to learn what this really was and who was really here and the people that were buried there. It's pretty unique, and I still find it fascinating when you can find these graves that we literally are just finding. You know, you're just digging through this forest of underbrush and growth, and you happen upon a grave, and you can find someone that's been lost, so to speak. And that in itself is so rewarding, you know, just to find that and discover that.
And if you don't preserve these stories, they're going to disappear, you know, and I think it's important. But I think by preserving these stories, we're helping to create new stories. I mean, don't you think? I think it helps us shape what's to come.
You know, Monroe is probably one of the most unique places, and we have such a rich history, and it goes back and forth. And the more you read into the history of Monroe, the diversity that you have here in this community is quite unique in itself. You can definitely look at the other communities around us, and it's just not the same.
We can do a lot of things with this cemetery. We can preserve this space, but I think we can preserve many more things in this community. And I think not just with this community, I think other communities, you know, can look at this and they can do bigger things in their communities. I think, you know, doing one thing can ripple across other communities. I believe that.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.